Joining me now is California Democratic Senator Alex Padilla, member of the Budget Committee. He's also the former Secretary of State of California. Senator, good to see you again. I want to point out to my viewers, you're an actual engineer. You actually studied engineering, so you don't need to be convinced of the value of the physical infrastructure. In fact, nobody does in America. There's nobody who doesn't think we need to put money toward these things. It's a little bit of a hypocritical argument, though, that we can't have anybody pay more taxes because of it, because the Republicans who are making that argument themselves supported tax cuts to the wealthy and corporations in the last 4 years.
Exactly, Ali. Good to be back with you. And, part of the conversation here in how we pay for these infrastructure investments includes maybe not doing completely as much as I'd like to, but at least partially those Trump tax giveaways. A lot of the business owners, a lot of the business leaders that I've talked to confess behind closed doors, they never asked for it. They took it and ran, but they never asked for the huge tax relief windfall under the Trump administration. So partially rolling that back is more than in order. And what could be wiser than to invest in our nation's infrastructure? I'll tell you one other piece. I'm baffled that we don't have a quote unquote deal yet when more than 4 weeks ago, a bipartisan group of senators stood in front of the White House with President Biden and announced that there was a deal. So what's happened in the last 4 weeks? There was a deal. Now there's not a deal. The only thing I can think of is the unpopularity for them of improved IRS enforcement, ensuring that the most wealthy families in America and large corporations pay their fair share, whether it's in the bipartisan package, the traditional infrastructure, as you mentioned, or in the Democrats' only reconciliation bill. That has to be a big piece of paying for much needed infrastructure. It's
important that you pointed that out, because the Republican objection here is to enforcement of IRS provisions. The idea that, hey, if you do owe taxes, or we should be able to get that money out of you. We're very, very keen on enforcing the fact that people at the low end of the income scale don't get any free money, or don't get any free anything, or don't get paid to, as Republicans say, sit on their couches. But we're not enforcing tax collection against the highest earners in this country. Let's talk about voting rights. This is something very, very important to you. You've actually come at this from different perspectives. You chair a subcommittee on immigration and citizenship and border safety. So you've been looking at voters' rights on a lot of different levels. They intersect here, right? Civil rights, human rights, immigrant rights, voter rights. This is all part of a one package in your mind.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, I formerly served as California Secretary of State, where I'm proud that we showed the positive counterexample to the voter suppression movement across America. We built the most inclusive democracy, happens to be in the most populous state in the nation, doing what the National Voter Registration Act calls for a government to play a role to facilitate participation, multiple ways to register to vote, stay registered to vote, and to actually cast your ballot. And I'm hoping to use my platform as a senator to bring about the equal access to the ballot and baseline of voting rights to all voters in America. Most recently, as you know, we took the show on the road. The Rules Committee had a hearing in Georgia, in Atlanta last Monday morning, keeping up our pressure on why we need to pass both the For the People Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act as soon as possible.
And what do you think needs to happen now? That the hearings on the road were effective, but in the end, there are a lot of people who probably agree with you and probably look at the example in California or Colorado or other states where they make it easier for people who are registered to vote without encountering voter fraud. How do you get people to understand that this is as urgent as people thought police reform was a year ago? There's some sense that if it doesn't affect me, it's not a serious problem.
Yeah, so that all the more reason to keep the volume up, keep the public pressure on, not just for influencing public opinion, but orchestrating ways for that general public opinion to influence policymakers, and especially members of the United States Senate. When Republicans won't even come along to establish an independent bipartisan commission to investigate the root cause of the deadly insurrection of January 6th, we know this ain't going to be easy. They wouldn't even support beginning debate and discussion on the For the People Act. But I do think progress has to be made. It is inevitable. If we keep the pressure on, maybe we line up some more votes, or maybe we finally break the back of the filibuster.
And you are in favor of breaking the back of the filibuster?
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's eliminating the filibuster, that'd be ideal. Even if it's just convincing enough colleagues to create an exemption or somehow allow us to protect our fundamental right to vote. When you stop and thinking about it, it's our right to vote that preserves all of the other rights. Once our right to vote goes, we're going to go backwards on climate. We're going to go backwards on labor protections. We're going to go backwards on choice, equality, and so much more. So the fight for voting rights is the fight for our fundamental democracy.
Senator, good to see you. Thank you for joining us again this morning. It is always early and much earlier for you in California. Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California.